Hey guys, I'm Sebastian. I'm part of the locally world famous chiropractors in Costa Mesa, California. I'm going to cover sciatica in sex today, mainly a scenario for the female. I've done other videos where we talk about male, female, kind of like specifically, but obviously this is a male-female model scenario that I'm using here just for demonstration purposes. The mechanics can apply over to anybody, so just go with what we're learning on this, okay? Sciatica, understanding the mechanics a little bit is helpful to figuring out what things you can do and what things you can't do, at least for a period of time when you're actually trying to have sex, when trying to get over sciatica. By the way, I should mention, a lot of people can actually reduce their sciatica pain and problems into the leg without having to do any medication or surgery. They have to be a little bit creative with their rehab and figuring out things like sex positions or things throughout the day which actually trigger their problem is a really important part of recovery. So let's get into a little bit of mechanics here. Okay, sciatica is the sciatic nerve comes back down from the back of the spine to the hip, to the hamstring, to the calf, to the bottom of the foot, and even to the toes. It tends to tension itself when you straighten the knee and you cock the foot back. It actually furthers its tension as you bend forward from the hips and almost touch the toes, as I am now. But for the situation where we're using a female model, this part and up won't matter quite as much because there's actually a few sex positions for females where the knee locked position actually can be very provoking for them. And doing a minor modification or swapping the position is probably one of the easiest routes to take at this point in time. But as you see, straightening my knee tends to tension the nerve and will elicit symptoms on most people. Cocking the foot back will also do the same. Okay? So as long as we kind of understand that, going into a position that is one that is probably something that happens quite often, which I think they call it plow or legs up or something like that. I'm just going to do this leg just for demonstration purposes. Now, imagine how provoking this can be on the sciatic nerve here if the knee is actually straight. And imagine how much more provoking it can be if someone is leaning on you, okay? So there's two things happening here which are a little bit more troublesome. Number one is that the position kind of dictates the knee to be straight. We can do one modification, which is bend the knee, or the second problem in this scenario is that there's a lack of control, all right? Whoever's in this position here loses the control, and then we have a little bit of an issue where someone might not be I don't want to say listening to them, but the partner is actually very important when you're trying to settle things like sciatica. So you got to be able to talk to your partner. If you can't, then maybe you change the scenario. The other scenario which tends to work is partner on top here. And so if I'm on top here, we have a few good things that are happening. Number one is there's the control right now because you can go at your own pace or whatever. The second thing is there's actually a big knee bend right here, which actually helps out dramatically with neural tension or sciatic nerve tension here. Obviously, there's a lot of other reasons why sciatica can be occurring, such as stuff from the back or even the foramen and things in the spine. And that is partially included in the scenario I'm talking about, but there's other things to consider too. I wrote this really big article that's on our website, p2sportscare.com. There's a link in the description below. It goes over the scenarios for multiple scenarios for bending forward, creating pain, backwards, stretching the leg, and for both genders or in multiple positions. We cover things like doggy style and missionary and legs up and all that kind of stuff. So I suggest you go through and look. We have other videos coming out like this. I'll do my best to keep them as PC as possible because I think the education is important and there's not enough information out there on this, and it's a really common thing that people do struggle with and they're afraid to talk to their healthcare provider about. So we'd love to help you out through this. If you want to reach out to us, I strongly suggest you do because we're very good at helping people through this. So Costa Mesa, California, we have people fly in sometimes. That's always great to see them, and we can help them out for about a week or so. Locally world famous chiropractors. We'll see you guys soon.